Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, round 7. And today we are using this beautiful sketch by Liz Chidester. I think that's how you spell it. Say it. It's Chidester. And I really like this sketch. It's a bit different for me. I don't usually do a lot of, well, I do some banners like that, but usually pretty much only when I'm following a sketch. So I have these 3 photos from our trip to Kauai. And they are photos that were taken outside of the helicopter tour place that we went to, which was awesome. We had a really good time and really enjoyed the tour. And so while we were waiting, we saw this mama chicken with her baby chick, and we saw this awesome spider. And then there's the sign for the actual helicopter tour place. So I wanted to go ahead and get those documented. Basically, it's all while we're waiting, so they all kind of go together. And then it worked well because they're a little bit smaller than 3x4. I printed them on my selfie, and so they print a little bit smaller because the selfie, I think I printed them with a border. The selfie prints a little bit smaller. It's not a true 4x6. And then I'm just taking these papers out of the scrap bin from the kit of papers that I have for this particular trip. I'm not cutting into any new papers for it for the banners. And then I'm just folding them in half and trimming a banner edge onto it, or I guess that's what you call it, a banner edge, a flag, a fishtail. I think that's what most people call it, a fishtail. So I'm trimming that down, and I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the size. I knew I didn't want them super wide, but I didn't want them. I didn't want them all the same size. So I just kind of randomly, haphazardly stuck them in my trimmer and trimmed them down to similar, somewhere probably between 3/4 to 1.5 inches wide, maybe a little bit wider. And then I'm just going to layer them up here and kind of figure out how I like them. And I really enjoy that they are all double-sided, because if I don't like the pattern on one side, not that I don't like it, but if it doesn't go as well with the papers next to it, I can flip it over and try again. And so I think that works really well. I like the florals, but I don't want to have the florals next to each other, and I don't want to have like small dots next to small dots and stripes next to stripes. So I'm kind of like mixing them in. And then I know I want some of this dark green, and that's from Heidi Swap's Art Walk, but I don't have a long enough piece, so I'm just cutting 2 swatches off of it, and they will have to bridge the gap in the middle. There will be nothing, but that works out. And it's a great way to use up your scrap paper, because you're using, just little strips of it. You don't need a ton, a big old piece. So I like how that looks. I'm just going to clean off my desk and kind of get them arranged the way that I want them. And then I decide I need to choose my 2 top layers for those horizontal pieces before I decide exactly how I want them underneath. And to see how they look best. And those I did have to cut up some 12x12 papers, because I don't think I had anything that really worked well to be those 2 layers in my scrap bin. Now you could definitely pull stuff from your scraps, but I am limited to the scraps from this particular project because I don't want to pull in new papers that have not been used or are not going to be used in this particular project. So I am kind of like sticking with this same palette of papers, and that would be Fifth and Monaco. I do have a little bit of Chasing Adventure from Jen Hadfield, and a little bit of Art Walk from Heidi Swap. So I am inking everything in black, and I'm not going to make you sit through that because it's just inking. We all kind of know how to ink, and if you don't, you can see me doing it right here on a few pieces. You don't need to watch me do every single piece, because that's very time consuming, and it doesn't make for interesting viewing. While I do that, let me just tell you a little bit about the hop. We are doing Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and that is every day in March with the exception of the 31st. We will have a sketch that we are creating from. So there's a lot of ladies or people playing along below, so you can go ahead and check them out and get a whole bunch of different inspiration. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting a piece of this white out of my scrap bin because I have everything how I want it, and I want to pick it up just as it is. And in order to do that, I need to have it all stuck together. So, and that green piece that I had to span the distance on is definitely going to fall apart. So I just put some adhesive on this white piece of paper, and then I can pick everything up. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to stretch it just a little bit further, and have them hang down a little bit farther or above on either side of those horizontal pieces. So it was a really good way to be able to pick it up and be able to stretch them all a little bit further. So I highly recommend doing that if this is if it works out for the layout that you're working with. It's a good way to kind of keep everything together so they don't get all messed up, and then you can kind of stretch them as one big piece. And nobody's going to be the wiser. Nobody's going to even know that I did that except for us here on YouTube. So it'll be our little secret. And then I am just going to go ahead and adhere everything down. And then I'm going to get my photos situated. And I kind of like how that looks. You see I also had backed them onto white paper, and I just like the way that makes them kind of pop off the page. They don't kind of get lost into the background, especially with so many busy papers going on. And I'm just holding them down in their place and getting them placed so that they're lined up appropriately. And so I get that all done, and then I realize I don't have a whole lot of space for some journaling. So I'm going to make that center picture a pocket, and it's going to have some tags stuck in it for the journaling. My title is going to be on the list because this was something that was on the list of things that we wanted to do while we were in Hawaii. And it was the one thing my husband really wanted to do. He's done a helicopter tour over the Grand Canyon before. I've never done a helicopter tour before, so it was definitely on the list of things we wanted to do. So that's why I chose that for the title. So that title is not going to stay in that particular place. It's going to be moved to the bottom right-hand side of the photos. And that is so that I can make some room for some tags behind that center photo. So while I do that, let me tell you a little bit more about this hop. Christy's been doing this for a couple years now. She has 6 different series before this current one, and they happen March, June, and October, I believe. And she has a Facebook group that you can go and check out all of the past ones, and this current one will be the sketches will be uploaded as we go, I believe, but you can check out all of the past ones and get inspiration from all of those different sketches as well. So if you go to the album section, you will see each series listed there, and you go to each sketch, and then you can post in that area. But it's a great way to play along and a great way to find additional inspiration, and you can also find more YouTube videos using the sketches that are posted. So I will put the link to that YouTube group in my description box down below, as well as all of the links for the people that are playing along for this particular series, so you can go and check them out. So what I did was I removed a little bit of that adhesive from the center of the photo in the middle so that I could create a little pocket. I just put adhesive around the 2 outer edges to the right and left and the bottom to create that pocket, and then I used my Stampin' Up! Tag topper punch to punch the tops of those tags and to put a little bit of a pretty edge on them. And then I did take everything over to my sewing machine. I added some stitching all the way around the outside of the layout and to the top of the tags. So that's pretty much going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will see you guys again tomorrow with the next sketch. So come back and I will see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye now.